And this is why most indie artists never make it past music as just a hobby. They're always looking for shortcuts because they're too lazy to do what's necessary to get real success. But don't worry, that never stops them from complaining all day about how the system is rigged or it's set up against them. Look, indie artists, here's the reality. No one is holding you back from success except for yourself. If you want to have real success in the music industry, you have to use real strategies to get real fans. There's no shortcuts in this business. And the way to win is so simple. I can't help but think that most people are just so lazy that they're willingly sabotaging themselves. Look, let me lay it out.
Because my revolutionary faculties got me switching up the game and changing minds. Get them out the system, I'll be saving lives.
What's up, y'all? Harkos here with the Music Making Sense podcast, where it's all about music marketing, branding, and how to have success, real success, as an independent artist. And I've been working with independent artists to help them get real success for a little over 7 years now. For those of y'all who only know me from right here at Music Making Sense podcast, you may have only seen me around for up to about a year and a half, because that's how long Music Making Sense podcast has been around. But I started about 7 years ago with a radio show style podcast where I played artist music and had a little bit of talk up in between the songs and used that as a vehicle to try to help promote them. And I did that for about 4 years until I had to shut it down because I wasn't able to actually help the artists the way I wanted to. Now, in hindsight, yeah, there were some things that I could have done better to help grow the show itself, but I was running into the biggest problem, which was the artists not doing what's necessary in order to promote themselves and, by extension, allow me to help promote them to the fullest. And so, honestly, even if I look back at it now and I see the things that I could have done better, nothing that I could have done could have actually helped me help those independent artists get real success because they were falling short on a lot of different ways. Some of the most common ways that they were failing themselves is by having different names and @handles on all the different social media platforms. They didn't have what's called brand solidarity, okay? I mean, like I said, they would have different names and @handles on different platforms. Hell, they would even be promoting their music on their personal Facebook page with their government name on it, not with their artist name. And sometimes they wouldn't even have an actual artist page on Facebook. You know, stuff like that. They didn't have any real brand solidarity. So whenever I had the radio show style podcast, I would have a lead in, hey, up next is so-and-so with their song, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And I'd start the song. After the song was over, I'd say, oh yeah, I'd rehash. That was so-and-so with their song, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. I say a little bit about the song, and then I'd be like, if you like that song, you can go follow this artist over at blah, blah, blah. But I had a hard time because they didn't have brand solidarity. So I couldn't be like, yeah, you can follow them at, for instance, at Harkos Music on Instagram and at, John Smith over on Facebook and at, Real Harkos Music on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't say nothing like that. It sounded ridiculous. But if I could have said something like, you can follow them at Harkos Music on all platforms, that helps because that has brand solidarity. Or just another common way, having a website. Most of the artists that I was working with and trying to help out, they make great music. But like I said, they didn't have brand solidarity, but they didn't even have a website either. So I couldn't say, if you like them, go check out their website, harkosmusic.net, right? I couldn't do any of that. So I couldn't actually help promote them properly because they didn't have their branding set up. But another way that they failed themselves, and by extension failed me even trying to be able to help them, was by being inconsistent with their music and especially their content creation. They would put out like one album every 6 months and then do like a month or two of promotion on that and then go ghost for months on end, right? Sometimes I wouldn't even be able to reach out to them being like, hey, you got any new songs you want me to play or anything like that? They wouldn't even be able to respond back because they would just go ghost completely off of social media. It's crazy. I didn't understand it. And those are some of the most common ways that artists were hurting their own growth in the music industry by not being able to promote themselves properly, and by extension not being able to let outlets like my radio show or any other radio show or podcast or blog or anybody like that, nobody could help these artists promote themselves because they didn't have those things taken care of. But honestly, those were like some of the most common ways that they failed themselves by not having proper branding and not being consistent with their content. But I saw some of the biggest ways that people would hurt themselves, and there was like 3 really, really big ones, okay? And so I really wanted to get into those today. The 3 really, really big ways that artists can just like destroy any chance of having any growth in their career is having fake features, getting fake streams, and getting fake followers and interactions on social media. Those are by far the biggest ways that artists hurt their own career and any potential for growth in the music industry. And I saw that all the time when I had the radio show style podcast. And like I said, I shut that down in 2021 after 4 years of running it. And then I took a couple of years off to really try to do a lot of deep thinking on, okay, where did I fail? Not only these artists, but also the growth of the show. What could I have done differently? I thought about a lot of different things, came up with a lot of different strategies. And in the meantime, I was working one-on-one with some of the artists that I knew from that radio show. And I was trying to help them with their marketing. And, I eventually found, hey, look, I just need to help them with their marketing, not necessarily be a promotional outlet for them, but help them with their promotions. So now that I've worked on the back end where I'm being the promoter, I can also help them promote themselves. And so I started Music Making Sense podcast, previously with a previous co-host that I had for about a year, KP. Shout out to KP. He tunes in sometimes and stuff, but we ended up, after about a year or so, we went separate ways. He's focusing a lot more on his music, and I wanted to focus a lot more on here. But that's that's a different story. But anyway, so for the last year and a half almost, I've been really focusing on this, and I still, like I said, in 2016 is when I started, 2017 is when I started the Radio Show Style podcast, and I shut that down in 2021. Now it's 2024, almost 2025 at the time I'm recording this. It's this late December. And I'm still seeing artists do the 3 biggest mistakes that harms their careers: fake features, fake streams, and fake followers and interactions on social media. And I honestly thought that this would have went away by now, but apparently it's not. So for those of y'all who are not familiar with these tactics, you're like, wait, what? People are getting fake features. They're faking their streams. They're faking their following on social media. Let me go ahead and break down a few of these things and give you some examples on how artists are doing this. And this will give you some direction on how not to do some stuff. So if you actually are doing any of these, maybe you didn't realize it was a negative thing either, okay? So fake features. So for those of y'all who are not in the hip-hop genre of creation, you may not be familiar with the concept of collaborations and features, because a lot of rock bands and stuff, they don't usually collaborate with other rock bands to create a song. They may have 1 or 2 members that float around or something, but for the most part, it's a band, they create their music, right? But for hip-hop artists, they're usually solo artists, and it's very, very common to collaborate on songs or projects or just have features from bigger name artists. And I covered the whole concept of fake features and how it's bad for your music career and growth in last week's episode. If you want to check that out, the link is down below in the description. If I still have some problems, if it works properly, I'll put a link in right around in here somewhere on the video. But it's down in the description. So after you're done watching this, you can check it out. But anyway, so having real features is a good thing because you can collaborate and network with other artists. You can kind of essentially cross-promote audiences with that other artist. But then, like I said, if you get a feature from a bigger name artist than what you are, it can actually help pull you up because it's what's called a cosign. Okay, and like I said, I broke it all down in last week's episode. But if you get all of these things for real, if you get a real feature from a big name artist, it could really help your career. However, a lot of artists are too lazy to actually grind out to get to that level, and so they want to try to fake it. And so they get fake features through all kinds of means, AI, through different deals that producers who make beats will have with some of these bigger name artists to give out these features and stuff. And yeah, it may look 100% legit, has a contract and everything like that, but it's not a real cosign. It's not a real feature. It's not that artist really knowing who you are as an artist and saying, yeah, let me work with you. I want to bring you up. I'm going to introduce you to my audience, because that's not how it works. It just does not work like that. Okay. And like I said, I broke all that down last week's episode, but so that's one way, is fake features. Fake streams is way number 2. And this is very, very common. And you can get fake streams from a lot of different ways, from bot playlists, including places like Submit Hub, DistroKid's Wheel of Playlist, and even Spotify editorial playlists. Now, a lot of people will disagree with me on that last one right there. Be like, no, Harkos, there's no way that Spotify editorials have bots on them. Okay. All right. Let's break this down for a second. So you're telling me that Spotify has no financial incentive to have their ads listened to more, because that's exactly what fake streams get them from playlisting on all the different methods, Submit Hub or Playlist Booker or DistroKid's Wheel of Playlist, or even Spotify editorials. If they can have a bunch of people listening to music, a bunch of accounts, listening to music, they're also going to be free accounts that listen to ads. And then Spotify makes money for every time that ad is played. Okay, because there's 2 different ways that these companies make money off of ads. They have either what's called CPM, which is where you pay for every 1,000 plays or listens or watches or whatever on your ad, right? And then there's also cost per click, right? It's cost per action. They call it different things on different platforms, but it's where you actually just pay when somebody actually clicks on the link to go to the next step in your ad, right? But the CPM is very common because it's a lot cheaper on the person putting the advertising budget down, the advertisement down. And so it's just about getting in front of people. It's about increasing the reach. And so Spotify and a lot of these other platforms have no problems if a bunch of bots, a bunch of fake accounts that are just free accounts are listening to this, because they get to charge more. Like, hey, we got it in front of 3,000 people yesterday. Now you got to pay us X amount times 3,000, right? And the person placing the ad is none the wiser. Sorry, my nose is itching. For those y'all watching on the video, I keep rubbing my nose. But is none the wiser. So they have a financial incentive for this. And they also don't mind all these playlists from these other companies, DistroKid, Wheel of Playlists, and stuff like that, running a bunch of bots either, in general, because they get to make more money. Because if it's a premium account, well, they're making money every month. What is it, like $15 a month now or something like that? They're making it however many dollars a month, depending on country, in the subscription for their monthly premium service where there's no ads, or it's a free account. They get paid every time an ad gets played, and if somebody hits the ad, they get paid even more, all that kind of stuff. And so these kind of ways on these playlists can get a lot of fake streams. And yeah, Spotify and DistroKid, all these other places, they'll hit specific accounts or playlists and stuff like that if they're going really crazy. But people have figured out how to run bot playlists now to where it doesn't look as suspicious with the algorithm. They'll only have, a specific bot run one playlist a day or something like that, like one time. And then that's it. And they won't be listening 24/7 anymore. So they'll have more bots set up to run more intermittently. But it's still, if you're on that playlist, it'll still get you a lot of streams. And a lot of people have seen this. Like I said, whenever I started in 2017 with a radio show style podcast, I saw a lot of people using these playlisting methods. And they would get fake streams like crazy. You could pay. Let me disclosure. I've done this. Okay, I tested this out back in 2018 with my own music, and I stopped immediately because after 1 month I saw that this wasn't real. I paid somebody, what was it, like $50 or $70? I can't remember exactly which. It's been a few years, right? It's 2018. To put one of my songs on their playlist. And I think it was like 30,000 streams in the first month. And I was like, oh shit, okay, this is working, awesome, right? But then I got off that playlist after that month because it was only good for 30 days. And then the next month, I only got a couple of streams. And so I'm like, well, okay, that was completely fake. If I would have actually had real people listening and enjoying my music, then I would have had more people in the second month that carried over. And then I started learning how to check out the metrics, and I saw in Spotify for artists, there's a section in there that shows you the streams per listener. Now, the streams per listener rate is an average on how many times one specific person listens to that specific song, or it could be over your whole catalog. And I was looking, and it was like 1.2, 1.4, somewhere in there, streams per listener. And I'm like, well, that means that everybody out of these 30,000 streams, on average, everybody only listened once, and that was it. So I was getting in front of people who only listened for 30 seconds max and then left. They never came back. They never subscribed or followed me. They never added my song to their individual workout playlist or driving playlist or whatever, right? They never saved the song, nothing like that. They didn't go check out other songs on my catalog. And so I'm like, well, this isn't real. But I still saw other people that were doing it, and they kept doing it. I'd stopped doing it. And then I ended up seeing a couple people got hit but for fictitious streams because they were going too crazy. And they got removed off of Spotify, removed off of their distributor. And I was like, oh, I knew something was wrong. That didn't seem legit to me. And it wasn't legit. That's why they got taken off. But still, in 2024, almost 2025, I still see people worrying about getting on these playlists through all these different third-party companies or individuals who start playlists and stuff like that and start charging money for it. It's fake. You get no real streams at all. And honestly, like, people, the concept behind it is genuine. Oh, if I get on a playlist that has 100,000 listeners a month, well, that's 100,000 new fans possibly that I could be having. That's a great opportunity. Even if I only get a tenth of that, that's 10,000 new fans. That's amazing. I'd love that. But they don't realize that those are all fake listeners for the most part. Yeah, you're going to have some real listeners, but a lot of times it's not, right? So that's one big way that a lot of people get fake streams. Another way they get fake streams is from something called stream teams. Now, this is something a little bit more smaller scale, right? So what will happen normally with a stream team is an artist, or sometimes a label, but usually somebody who is a musician will start a playlist or maybe a couple of playlists. And they'll get a bunch of artists to submit their music to that playlist, like in agreement that if their music is on the playlist, they will listen at least one time per day to the whole playlist on every device that they have. And so they'll tell them, hey, look, you know, how many different devices do you have that are connected to the internet? What, you got a TV, maybe a couple TVs, a game system, a tablet, a phone, right? You know, you got 3, 4, 5 different devices that are connected. Create a different Spotify account for everyone. Just create some fake emails or something like that, right? Create a different Spotify account for each one. And once a day, listen to the playlist on all the different platforms, on all the different devices, right? And they'll get all the artists to do that. So each artist on average gets, 4 different devices or something like that. You get 20 artists on, 20 times 4. Now you got 80 individuals listening to this playlist, which will get you, 80 streams a day on your song, right? And so that'll start adding up. If they listen twice a day, boom. If you get more artists and everything like that. So this is what's called a stream team. This is where you get a bunch of other people. You can get artists, you can get non-artists, but you get a lot of people just to listen. Because there's a lot of people who know artists, right? Their friend, their family member, their significant others, whatever, and they want to help support. So they will listen to that person's playlist, and they'll help them out. They're like, oh, I got 3 devices. Let me do that too, right? And so they'll hop on board and help out. And I've even seen people make posts, oh, if you have an independent artist that you want to help them out, put all their music on a playlist and hit play and turn the volume all the way down when you go to sleep at night, and that'll give them 8 hours worth of solid streams. I'm like, no, that'll give them 8 hours worth of fake streams and possibly shut their whole music down on the social platform, on that streaming platform. It's ridiculous. Okay? So both of these ways to get fake streams are all out of trying to grow and get big numbers. And then a lot of artists use that number in what's called a social proofing, which is where they will showcase the numbers. Hey, and they'll do it in like a thank you type of way. Hey, I just want to thank all my fans, every single one of y'all, for listening to my brand new song. It just came out this week. I already got 5,000 streams on it in the first week. If y'all are seeing this post and you haven't listened to it already, go check it out. Link in the bio or link in the comments or whatever, right? And they'll do that as a form of social proofing, and it's a psychological thing that used to work. It doesn't really work as much anymore, but it's a social proof saying, oh, wow, look, this person's legitimate. But it also serves as like a FOMO situation, fear of missing out, where people are like, oh, well, there must be something there. I need to go listen too, so I'm not missing out on this thing that's on the rise, right? Because people don't want to be left behind. It's some tribal stuff left over from way, way back in our tribal days, where people didn't want to be left out of the crowd. They didn't want to not have the information of the tribe. They didn't want to be cast out, because you get cast out, you could die, right? It's not as drastic anymore. People can be loners now and be okay, but that's another story. But anyway, people have a fear of missing out, and they want to be with the in crowd. And so that's what a lot of people use this broadcast of these high numbers to try to do. And so they think about it, okay, so if I get 5 or 10,000 fake streams in a month, well, I can use those numbers, taking screenshots, in order to try to get that many real streams in a month. And so then it'll even out. And it all comes from a good place. You're trying to grow. But when you use fake strategies to get fake streams, to then post those fake numbers to get fake interest on your song, it's all fake. So if you do get real people to come check it out, you still faked it all the way. And then when those real people get there, most of the time, they never stay because it's fake. You didn't build anything real on it. And you're trying to use social proofing and FOMO to try to get some growth, and it just doesn't work. It's fake, okay? So getting fake streams doesn't work at all because you can get shut down. But then also, it looks fake. A lot of people know about this now. There's been documentaries that have been put out about these bot farms. And, with the information age the way it is now with the internet, when information goes around, it goes around fast. And so the casual listener will know, oh, yeah, that artist over there, they posted this. How exactly are they getting 40,000 streams on their song in a month, but they only got 1,000 followers on this, or they only got 1,000 listeners on their platform, right? They'll look at stuff like that and be like, that doesn't make any sense. That must be fake. And then if they go check out the song and be like, this song is garbage. Why would anybody, then it instills the fakeness, and so they never mess with that person again, or they laugh at that person, right? Maybe they use them as a joke. So again, let me just briefly recap because I went over a lot. The first big way that artists will harm their career is by getting fake features, like I discussed on last week's episode. The second way is getting fake streams, and then the third way is to get fake followers, but also fake engagement on social media. So there's a couple of different ways that people do this. Okay, now for one, kind of like with streams, they could just buy them. Okay, there's different companies out there where you can pay them X amount of dollars in a month, and they'll get you 1,000 followers in a month. And they'll be like, oh, it's real organic followers. Like, okay, you can do something like that. Or a lot of artists, to do it a cheaper way, they will do follow for follow schemes where they get a bunch of other artists. Hey, you follow me, I'll follow you, and then I'll invite all my friends on my Facebook or whatever to follow your page as well too, yada yada, right? They'll do a lot of those. Or they'll do what's called engagement teams, okay? And that's similar to a stream team where a group of artists, usually it's a lot smaller. Usually it's about 5 to 10 people, sometimes 15. Excuse me. they will team up in usually a group chat, and they'll say, hey, look, so all of us, let's work together to get this algorithm really popping for all of us. Okay, let's work together to help each other. Okay, so each one of us, we post at least once a day on the streaming, on whatever social media platform. Post at least once a day, and all of us will go in and comment on each other's, like and comment and share on each other's post, right? And what they'll do is they'll go around and they will post very basic generic comments in the comment section, like, oh, this is fire, oh, this is awesome, or just put some emojis in there or something like that. It won't be any genuine comments that actually has a discussion that follows within the comment thread, because social media, the whole algorithm on social media, yeah, it's interest based, but it also still has a social element to it where they want you to socialize on the post, not just indulge on the post and not just view the post and be entertained, but also they want you to go in the comment section and have discussions and have that community within the comment section that talks about that specific piece of content. And so that's why there's the reply option on a comment, so that people can see your comment, they can reply to it, and you guys can have a discussion. Well, with these engagement teams, they don't do that. And so they think that they're activating the algorithm, but really they're not, because there's no real discussion that actually happens in there. Okay? And so these are some ways that you get fake followers and fake engagements on social media. And again, all that does is harm you. It doesn't activate the algorithm the way that you want it to. Okay? The fake features don't activate the algorithm. You think, oh, if I have some household name artist on my song, then I'm going to get populated in the feed with all of their music. No, it doesn't work that way. You would think that it would. I mean, honestly, genuinely, you're probably like, Harkos, no, it would, right? No, it doesn't, because it doesn't work like that, because it's not their song, and it's not part of their catalog. It goes based off of your profile for your song. And the algorithm on the social media the algorithm on the streaming platforms is based off of your profile. Who comes in and listens to your music on average? What type of person? All those people get categorized as to your listeners. And then when you drop a new song, it will broadcast that out to people like the common listeners of your standard listening group. That's how the algorithm actually works. But if you're getting fake streams, it doesn't know who to follow. And that's the same way on social media. If you're getting fake followers and fake engagement, it doesn't know who to suggest your content to either. And so you're not activating the algorithm at all. You're hurting the algorithm. And again, that's when I hear a lot of artists say, oh, the system's rigged against independent artists. So, oh, it just wants us to fail. No, you're harming yourself by being lazy and not doing what's needed to grow for real in the music industry, okay? And there is a simple 3-step process to get real streams from real listeners, to get real engagement from real followers, and eventually land you, if you're in the hip-hop community especially, real features from real successful artists. And that will actually get you real success in the music industry, okay? And it's not by using any of those fake ways. So not getting fake features, not getting fake followers and streams and engagement, none of that. It's very, very simple. Step 1 is to create entertaining and engaging content on a regular basis, okay? Step 2 is to put gas on that fire in the form of strategic ads to your content, okay? And then step 3 is to have a music business system in place, okay? So step 1, creating entertaining and engaging content on a regular basis. Now, this is pretty simple overall, because you are in the entertainment business. You're a creative person, right? You're like, oh, I come up with all these great songs. So you should be able to create entertaining content for that song, bare minimum, okay? And the best way to create content, because a lot of artists, they'll run into this, man, I just don't want to be a content creator all the time. I don't want to be worrying about all this stuff, right? And I'll see people say this all the time. And it's not that difficult because, in reality, what you need to do is just work at least 3 months in advance. Okay? So when I say work 3 months in advance, that's mainly on your music release. And every single song that you release, you should have a music video for. Now, it doesn't have to be some big elaborate music video that costs you thousands of dollars. It could be something that you just create on your phone. You have somebody who holds the camera for you or holds a phone for you and just videotapes you in a couple different locations. You doing a few different things for your music, and then you take and edit it yourself, or you go on places like Fiverr or Upwork and you find somebody maybe in another country who can do it cheap for you, and they'll edit it up. You can find it pretty decent, and you can get a decent working music video for a lot cheaper, sometimes free. Like I said, if you do it all yourself, you get a stand for your camera and you create it yourself. They have these gimbals for your phone now that are actually Bluetoothed into your phone. And so it will actually follow you. So you could have it on a stand and you can move around in your video and it will follow you around. It will track you around. So that's pretty cool. It helps out if you want to do it all yourself. And then there's free apps like CapCut that you can use on your phone to help edit it. It has a lot of features. And then you can get the premium version of that to give you some extra features. It's like $10 a month or something like that. Okay, it's nothing. And you can cancel it anytime. There's no yearly commitment or nothing. So you can just have it for a month and shut it down or whatever. But then there's also free programs on your computer like CapCut, or DaVinci Resolve is another one as well too. And sometimes that can take a learning curve, but in reality, you don't have to have a lot of elaborate effects to your music video if you don't want to. If you want to just start out having one shot, one take music videos, those will help out as well. Having any kind of entertaining content with your music behind it as a promotional piece for that new release is going to help that release go. And I always tell artists when I work with them, look, we're not releasing any music without a video of some kind to that song. Some kind of music video, either a one-shot, one-take music video, something completely self-produced, or a professional one. Whatever your budget and time entails, okay? But every single song you release should have that. So you can work 3 months in advance. Now with this, it's pretty simple. That's 3 songs and 3 music videos. And you can do this one day a month. One day a month, you can go out and you can create a couple of these music videos to some songs, right? And if you're really a creative artist, right, you're like, hey, I'm a professional artist with this stuff. You should be able to create at least one new song a month. And then by using free or low-cost options, you'll be able to create a music video of any kind to that song, okay? It's very simple. But when you're working 3 months in advance, you take a couple of days to create the songs and to create the music videos a month, and that way you're working in advance. But then you also need to have more than just one new long form piece of content every single month, and that's just a music video. You need to also have lifestyle or hobby or brand building type of content as well. Those all are kind of the same, right? And so these could be, again, like I said, where you're talking about a hobby that you have, or if your brand, let's say you're a political artist or you're a social artist, talking about social justice, or, you have a specific lifestyle that you promote, whether it's, inhaling plants. I'm on YouTube, I can only say certain things. You have that kind of lifestyle, it's skater lifestyle, goth lifestyle, whatever the situation, rocks lifestyle, whatever it is, you're creating lifestyle-based content for that. And you could do that between 1 and 4 times a month. Once a month is definitely ideal. But when you create that content, it's all interest-based. You can have your music in the background if you want. It doesn't have to be. It could just be that interest, lifestyle-based content that builds your brand, which is who you are, what you stand for, what you represent, okay? But when you take these, so now you have one music video a month, and then you have, let's just say you did it fully, right? You got 4 long-form, interest-based, brand-building pieces of content a month. Well, now you chop all those into shorts, okay? That's 5 full-length videos that you get 6 short-form clips out of each one of them, right? That's 30 days worth of content, like that, Okay. And now you can post a reel every single day. And, honestly, bare minimum, you should be posting 3 to 5 short form pieces of content a week. And if you're creating the long form content, like what I just said, you'll be able to get those short form pieces of content easy. And there's programs out there like Opus Clip and a lot of other ones. I use Opus a lot though, that will actually take your content as long as it's no, it doesn't have a time limit. Never mind. It'll take your content. Sorry, I thought they had a time limit, but that must have been another program I saw, because I always check out new programs all the time. But anyway, it'll take your content and it'll clip it down for you. And usually it'll give you like 10 clips at least. And so you can just pick a few of the better ones. You can do text-based editing in there and stuff like that. You put the words on the screen, stuff like that. CapCut even has a feature where you can put the words on the screen, but then you can also add some effects and stuff like that if you want. There's these different kinds of options that you can do to create the shorts that's a lot easier, especially if you have no real knowledge or skill with video editing. Okay. And so this is how you create consistent content, entertaining and engaging content, not just, new song out now, stream it now. None of that. You're actually just creating a music video for the song, or you're creating lifestyle and interest-based brand building pieces of content. That's it. You're just entertaining. You're not selling anything. Okay. You're only entertaining. Don't say out now, buy now, link in bio, nothing like that, okay? We're not doing any of that. Everybody knows that you're going to have your link in your bio. If you don't, well, now we're back at the beginning of this video where I said you didn't even have a website, okay? You didn't even have your links in your bio. You got to have your links in your bio, okay? But you have those places, right, all set up, and you're putting out that entertaining and engaging content on a regular, consistent basis, okay? That's step one to get real growth. Step two is putting gas on that fire in strategic ads. So when you first start this up, for the first month or so, about first month, month and a half, you're not going to put any money towards ads. You're only going to be creating entertaining and engaging content. That's it. Month two, what you're going to do is you're going to look back at month one, and you're going to find on each platform, there's 5 different platforms, okay? Let me go there real quick. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube, okay? That's where you're putting out all these short form pieces of content, and that's where you're putting out all the long form pieces of content, okay? That's where you're doing all that. Now, your music video, you may want to only have that over on your YouTube or something like that. That's perfectly fine. But all your interest-based pieces of content, the long form ones, they should be up on all the social platforms in long form. And all your shorts should be going out on all the short form platforms for all 5 of those platforms, okay? But anyway, what you do after month one is you go back and you look at every platform and you find the piece or the top 3 pieces of content from each of those platforms that did great organically, okay? And then what you do is you take those 3 pieces of content and you put those into ads on each platform. Okay. Now you're probably thinking, Harkos, now I got to have 5 different ads going? No, technically you're only going to have 4, okay? Because Facebook and Instagram is all under Meta in the Meta Business Suite, okay? So there's one. And then you got X, and then you got TikTok, and then you got YouTube. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, okay, Harkos, look, I'm with you. I'm creating the entertaining, engaging content, but now you're telling me I got to run ads? I don't have that kind of money, man. Look, if you just do $15 a week and you run an ad for 1 week on each platform, you're going to be able to see great growth off of that. Okay, if you can do more than 15, do more than 15. But $15 a week, that's nothing. That's $60 a month. Okay, I mean, most of y'all pay more than $60 a month for your phone bill, let alone all your vices. Okay, so if you can just set aside $15 a week, that's you maybe not eating out for one lunch a week or something like that, right? It's very simple to get an extra $15 a week somehow, some way. If you can do that, and like I said, week 1, you run it on Meta, which gets you Facebook and Instagram. Week 2, you run it on X. Week 3, you run it on TikTok. Week 4, you run it on Google, right? And you use those top 3 on each platform, pieces of content in those ads, you're going to start seeing growth. 100,000%. Okay? And then, as you start seeing the growth with you having your links in your bio, you're going to start getting people that will come over through those advertisings to your social media platforms, including YouTube, and they're going to start looking at more of the content over there. They're going to start subscribing. They're going to start liking. They're going to start having real engagement. So you're going to be getting real followers, real likes, real engagement, they're end up going over to your streaming platform, so you're going to get real streams. You're going to get real views on your music video over on YouTube. And you're going to start having real subscribers. You're going to get real growth, okay? And adding gas to that fire is really what helps. But you got to do step one, like I said. If you're not creating that constant supply of content, and again, all you got to do, one music video a month, one interest-based long-form piece of content that has to be at least 5 minutes, right? A week. That's it. I'm not asking you to do a 4-hour podcast every single day and then chop it down and fully edit or nothing. I'm not trying to ask you to do none of that. Simple stuff, okay? Simple, yet entertaining and engaging. That's all it has to be, okay? You create those. As you're doing it month over month, you'll start to get some organic growth off of that. But when you add the gas to that fire with these ads, you're going to see it exponentially growth. And you just keep doing it week over week. Every week you put $15 and you do a calendar, okay? You set out a calendar. This week I'm posting this, and then I got these ads running. On this, you do it. You just keep it going. You organize it. It's very, very simple, okay? And honestly, if you need help organizing it, you can hit me up and I can help you organize it. No worries at all. I got ways I can help you out with that in a very cost-effective way. Or you're like, Harkos, I don't know, man. You might be too expensive. I need to find a cheap option. Go to Fiverr and find yourself a virtual assistant who can help you organize this stuff, okay? And again, if you want help, I know a couple of virtual assistants that help me out with some of my stuff that I work on that are in other countries. So if you wanted to plug on a couple of virtual assistants, let me know. But that's another story. Anyway, adding gas to that fire really helps, okay? But the third way, and honestly, like the third step, is having a music business system in place, like a full system. And honestly, this is like the most important. It should honestly be done first. Before you even start creating any content, before you even create any music, you need to have a music business system set in place, okay? And so if you have this music business system set up and the link for your website in your bio, then when you're running step 1 and 2, people will come in, they'll click that link, they'll go to your site, and then they'll go into your whole business system setup, okay? Which is where they can go there to your website. They can get free downloads of some of your music. They can buy some of your music. They can buy some of your merchandise. They can get on your insider program. They can buy tickets to some of your shows if they're on that level. But either way, with this music business system set up and with the actual content creation and release strategy with adding some ads, you're going to get a bunch of strangers coming in and you're going to start funneling them through and having them just be casual followers and listeners, and then bringing them to the next step onto your music business system where they start participating with you in either your insider program or getting some free stuff from you or buying some stuff from you. And now they're becoming fans and super fans, okay? And this is how you start really having a real career in music, okay? But it's not easy. It's not simple, and it for damn sure isn't overnight. Okay, so if you're a lazy artist, if you're a lazy artist who's always looking for the easy way out, if you've used bot farms, if you use bot playlists a bunch, you do stream teams and engagement teams, you do all these fake strategies, you get fake features from big name artists, doing all these essentially get rich quick schemes that don't actually get you rich, you will never have real success. And so the 3-step process that I just outlined to actually get real success, you'll never do any of that. Ever. Unless you are listening right now and you're like, you know what, Harkos, I have done those before. Hell, I just did them last month, right? Not me personally, but maybe you're saying that yourself, right? Hell, I just did that last month, okay? I'm on board. I don't want to do that no more. I see how it's fake. I was just kind of doing it just to kind of keep a facade, but you can only keep a facade so much, you know? And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of living a lie. I want to be real. I want to get real growth. I want to stop working this nonsense 9-to-5 job or these multiple part-time jobs or whatever my situation is, right? I'm tired of this life. I want to have that musician lifestyle. I want to have real fans and really grow and really love what I'm doing and stop being, I feel so jaded half the time, right? Maybe you're saying something like that now. Well, you need to, first off, get a music business system set up. Now, there's two ways to do it. Two ways to get that set up, okay? Let me rephrase that. There's two ways to get your music business system set up, okay? First way is to pay somebody to do it, okay? Which can cost a lot of money, and since you're an independent artist, maybe you don't have a lot of money. You'd rather spend as much money as you can on the ads when you get to that part, but you got to get this system set up first. So you can pay a lot of money to do it. That's not really a good, efficient way to do it, okay? Because again, you want to use as much of your money as possible to actually spend on ads and try to get real fans. You don't want to spend it to get just your system set up. So the second way would be to be a DIY. And this is the most common. This is how I learned how to set up a music business system, is 100% DIY. And what I did was I went to these different platforms. I tested a few different website building platforms out and learned them through their tutorials and their help sections, and I even went to YouTube and watched a lot of videos and stuff like that. But that was the really long, hard route to go. And for any of you who have ever tried to get a website set up yourself, you know, hey, that's kind of a pain in the ass kind of way to get it done, okay? I'm not trying to go that way. I want a simpler way, because I've been doing things the easy way. I'm trying to go the right way, but I still don't want it to be so crazy. I only have so much time in a day. Okay, well, that's why I created a course that walks you through step by step on how to get this set up. Okay, and so you don't have to worry about getting lost. You don't have to worry about following some tutorial and getting lost. Be like, what? I can't even understand what this is saying. I don't have that section. Oh, what? I got to upgrade in order to even try to work on this? No. You don't have to worry about none of that. And you, for damn sure, don't have to worry about following some YouTube video that's outdated. Okay? In my course, the all-in-one music business system setup course, okay, I show you every single step. I walk right along with you. I'm building a whole music business system in this course, and you can just follow along and do exactly as I do. And you can get your own music business system set up 100% DIY. You get it set up the right way, and I even show you how to get it set up to where it only costs you as low as $25 a year to keep up and running. Okay? So you don't have to worry about having the long, daunting process of trying to figure out how to get everything taken care of and figuring out how to get it. Well, Harkos, how'd you get it set up for $25 a year just to keep up and running? I show you that in this course. Okay? And so if you want to learn how to set up a real music business system, like again, you can have somebody do it for you. You can pay somebody hundreds or thousands of dollars to do it for you. If you got that money, go for it. Most of y'all probably don't got that. Now, I don't blame you. I'm not going to spend $1,000 to have somebody do it. That's why I learned how to do it myself. So if you're like me and you want to learn how to do it yourself, you can go out there and take months to learn how to build your music business system. Watch a ton of videos, tutorials, and all that stuff. Get lost, get headaches, bang your head on the desk, fall asleep on the desk while trying to work on it at 3 o'clock in the morning. I did that, okay? I learned how to edit video all by myself, falling asleep on my desk while I was doing it at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I've staying up really, really late doing it for months on end. Learn how to edit video, learn how to build websites, learn how to figure out this whole music business system to get it all set up to where everything works within each other, where people can come in and they can get on my inserter program and they can buy music and buy merch and all that kind of stuff, right? Or you can just take the course, the all-in-one music business system course, and follow along, and you'll have one done by the time you get in with the course, okay? And I have set up a free preview that you can watch. I got the link down in the description below from wherever you're watching or listening. There's a free preview where you can go watch. There's actually a whole video on how to set up the store, right? So you can go and you can learn how to set up your merch store 100% for free on the link below in the description or at apexmusicsystem.com. You don't have to put in an email. You don't have to put in a name. You don't have to put a credit card, nothing like that. You don't have to give me any information at all. You can click the link below or go to apexmusicsystem.com and watch this whole tutorial on how to set up a merch store, and I won't even know that you went there. I won't know who you are, nothing like that. So you ain't got to worry about, oh, if I go watch this, then I'm hooked and he's going to start emailing me like crazy. No. For one, I don't email people like crazy. But for two, I'm not like that. I told you my origins at the beginning of this. I started this out genuinely wanting to help people. And my radio show style podcast that I had for 4 years, it started out me creating a platform to help broadcast some local artists that I knew. It ended up growing to me helping the whole state of Indiana where I'm at try to broadcast them. And then I started networking and meeting people in the whole United States and people in Alaska and stuff like that. So I started putting them on the show. And then I eventually met people in the UK, started putting them on the show. Okay? And it kept growing like that. And I was doing it all. I wasn't charging any of these artists anything. I was trying to help artists. And I'm doing the same thing here with these videos right now. When I come to you every single week with a new podcast episode, I'm out here trying to help you, and this is all free content. Now, when you go over and you want to take the course costs money, but it's not that expensive. Okay? It's cheaper than almost any other course you could find right now that's anywhere near as extensive as this. All right, I'm showing you how to set up a full music business system, and I'm doing it for a fraction of the cost that it would cost you to pay somebody to do it. And I'm allowing you to skip all the time and the headache from you trying to figure out how to do it yourself. Okay, so again, like I said, you don't have to put in a credit card, an email, a name, nothing like that. Click the link below in the description, or go to apexmusicsystem.com. Go check out the free preview on how to build your store, and you watch the whole thing. And then once you see that, I guarantee you'll be like, oh, okay, this is very, very extensive. He really goes above and beyond, showing exactly everything. It's very easy to follow along. Let me go ahead and grab this course real quick. You can even, there's even a 4 payment option as well too, if you through a firm or something like that, right? There's different options. So go ahead and go check that out. And then after you get that, now you need to follow this 3-step process. Okay? You need to create entertaining and engaging content on a regular basis and be working ahead with it, like I said before. You need to, once you get that up and running and you start getting it rolling month over month, you need to start adding gas to that fire in the form of strategic ads. And when you do that, people will start coming over to your website and falling into your music business system that you now have since you just built it yourself, or you took my course and figured out how to do it. And now you would be able to actually start getting real fans and super fans, start making some real money off of your music and having a real career in this music industry. But on top of the fact that you will get real streams from real listeners, real engagement from real followers, and eventually real features from real artists who actually know you, from real connections that you're making in the music industry, because you're growing your profile in an organic way. You have a bunch of fans. You're making a decent living off of your music to where you stop working those nonsense 9-to-5 jobs, and you can actually just live off your music by entertaining your fans and engaging with them and doing shows and all kinds of stuff like that. You'll end up networking with different people in the industry and actually grow. And you'll be able to get high profile features and, in publications and stuff like that. And you'll be able to keep growing exponentially from there. But if you don't start with a music business system, and then you don't implement the 3-step process of entertaining and engaging content, strategic ads, and then bringing them back to your music business system, you'll never grow anywhere. So stop. Like I said last week's episode, stop trying to fake it till you make it with fake features, fake streams, fake engagement, fake followers, all this fake lifestyle. Fake it till you make it only makes you fake. If you want real success in the music industry, you need to use a real strategy. So follow those 3 steps. And until then, I'll see you on the next week's episode. Hit me up in the comments or on musicmakingssensepod.com if you got any questions or any disagreements. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments below. If you think I'm off it, oh, this is just a sales pitch for your course, Harkos. Okay, tell me exactly where I led you astray, where I gave you any fake information. Yeah, I gave you a pitch for my course, but that was only a couple of minutes out of this whole episode where I gave you all this great information. I gave you a full strategy. So please, in the comments below, if you disagree, tell me exactly where you disagree. How was I off it? Do you think playlists are fucking real? Okay, cool. Let me know. But anyway, until then, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a good one.